We're getting more insight into the Vatican electing Pope Leo XIV. I am joined by Father John Cunningham of Loyola University. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Were you surprised when you saw who walked out on that balcony?
I was very surprised. It's interesting in these elections, they have a series of people they put forward, but he was not on the list that I saw. In regard to an American, they were talking about Archbishop or Cardinal Tobin, who was in Newark as a possibility, but not this Pope.
Not
yes.
this Pope,
not this
yes,
Pope.
and this is who it is.
Yes.
It sounds like he really does want to carry on, the previous Pope's legacy. Is that what you're understanding?
Yeah, it's interesting. You can see a lot of parallels with him. It's interesting. He's an Augustinian priest. Francis was a Jesuit. A lot of international experience. We're happy, we're at Loyola University. It turns out that the Pope is a graduate of Catholic University Villanova, which is outside Philadelphia. And I guess that perspective as a religious order priest and the international perspective just makes him the choice.
For people who don't know, what does that mean to be of the Augustinian order?
So in the Catholic Church, we have a series of religious orders. Catholic priests tend to be what we call secular, which are like the diocesan priests that serve a lot of the parishes in New Orleans. Order priests are like the Jesuits. We have schools. The Augustinians are very similar to us. They operate schools, high schools, parishes, and also missionaries, so they're involved in different parts of the world.
When you look at the previous Pope Leo was known as the social Pope.
Yes.
That is an indicator that is something that he may carry on.
Yeah.
Taking on some of those serious social issues
Yes.
that the Catholic Church is facing.
Yes. So, Pope Leo XIII, his predecessor, which was the last, he was in the later part of the 19th century, is famous for his encyclical Rerum Novarum, which basically means on new things, but it was an assessment and an understanding of how the Industrial Revolution was going to be affecting humanity. So there's an interesting piece here. We'll hear why he chose that name eventually, but some speculation is just we're in a different era in the world these days, and maybe we kind of have to assess that.
Yeah, I think that's something that Pope Francis, held very dear to his heart. Some liked it, some didn't like it. Where do you think that we're going to see him fall on the spectrum of conservative versus not?
Yeah, so they're saying already, he's clearly doctrinally a moderate, if not a conservative, but then we're for social justice very much on the open side, open liberal side. And I think that's just from his experience of working with the poor in Peru. It's just a different society. That's the beauty of the Catholic Church, is it is universal. It's all over the world. And so there's just different people have different values and interests and important parts of their life that have to be understood.
And what do you think it means for America to have a presence at the Vatican?
I think, it's interesting for me because they were saying we'll never have a Jesuit Pope. We have a Jesuit Pope. And they also were saying we'll never have an American. Now we have an American. And I do think, in my life as a Jesuit, we've traveled all over the world. I meet Jesuits from other parts of the world. There is a respect for this country, really, and how the church operates here, and our training and our dealing with a complex culture of immigrants. So I think that's something to celebrate.
He's also going to have to navigate the finances of the Vatican,
Yes.
the sexual abuse scandal that
Yes.
has rocked the church all over
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
So those things I think everyone's going to be watching.
Yes.
And when we talk about this Pope, no one does a surprise better than the Catholic Church. That was a moment today.
Yes, yes.
What was that like for you?
Well, it was funny. We were having a Zoom meeting at Loyola. A bunch of us were going through a mission priority. It's basically a review of our mission at the university. And a series of people, and one of the people said, "This might smoke." And so then it was interesting too. I had Mass at 12:30 and I had to hold it till he came out, but he didn't have a chance to speak. I had to run over to Mass. But it's just exciting. It was fun.
It was so fun. All right, Father Cunningham, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate your insight. And we're of course going to have more coverage on the election of Pope Leo later tonight. You can stream our newscast live and on demand on WWL+. All you have to do is just download the app on your smart TV and watch it right there for free.